Good morning, Africa. Good morning, my, my beautiful country, Zambia. This morning, I say happy Sabbath to everyone. I'm your host again, Evangelist Chinyama. We want to talk about the fear of God as the beginning of understanding. I'm talking to you youths. Why have you invested your powers? Why have you invested your strength in violence when there are better things to do? God said when you honor Him, when you respect Him, when you acknowledge that He is going to give you understanding. When He says understanding, He's talking about wealth, He's talking about power, He's talking about everything that you may need in your life. I have seen youths who act to be useless when they should be useful. These presidents you fight for, they will never save you. These presidents that you are fighting for, even your name, they don't know your name. But why are you doing violence? Yes, you've been given a handout, either by opposition political parties, either by ruling parties, but what is it going to help you? I remember one time Cain in the Garden of Eden, they went with his younger brother Abel. In the process, Cain killed his brother. And God came to Cain and said, Cain, where is your brother? And he said, am I my brother's keeper? If we were to be brother's keeper, and if we were to get a lesson from Cain and Abel, we were going to be proper youths, nurtured youth in the fear of God. We always demand to say Zambia is a Christian nation, not with violence. It can never qualify to be a Christian nation. I am speaking from the background of an evangelist, and I'm speaking on my behalf that violence in our country is not needed. The Bible says in Matthew chapter 24, you shall hear rumors of war, meaning one day to come in your nation. How are you going to do when it comes in your nation? God is giving us peace, and we are playing with peace. When others in Sierra Leone are sleeping in the mountains, when others in Rwanda are hiding in the rocks, this is nonsense that we've done. It's like the children of Israel that Moses has left, and he goes to the mountain, find them worshiping a calf. This is what we are doing. When God is giving us peace, we want to play with the peace that God has given us. It's not a must, and it is not because Zambia is a Christian nation will never be involved in a war. People will create war. It's you. We don't want nonsense. We don't want political violence. We condemn it. We don't want political violence, because violence will lead to poverty. Violence will lead to suffering of our old people, children, women. You don't care because you don't have a family. You are just a cadre. Political players, I engage you, I beg you to make sure you adhere to the advice of the community, and you adhere to the advice of stakeholders. One thing you should remember is that you have children, and what morals are you teaching to your children? You political supporters, may you make sure that there's no war. You are brothers. Moreover, we came from one father, one mother, who is Adam and Eve. Why should we keep on fighting when we are one child? Why should we not shake hands when we meet? After all, it's just politics. I've never seen footballers fighting after winning or losing, fighting others. No. But why are you fighting? Does it make sense? Because at the end of the day, God is the one that crowns the king. Without God, you may have weapons, but those weapons are useless when God has not made them to devour anybody. There's no war if God has not mandated it. There's no king if God has not crowned. So you should remember one thing. I'm speaking to you because I've seen in other countries where they're experiencing too much war. And comfortably, you want to create one. This is total nonsense. Each political party should tame their cadres, because cadreism has become like a rule in our country. We don't want this nonsense. We don't want political leaders. May you come on board to condemn this, because political players should act maturely. Politics should be done in a maturity way, not this way of brutalizing the citizen. Whoever will talk about who is fought for, whoever is saying about who is beaten. No, we are brothers, and if we want to create a good environment and a Christian nation, as we always claim, we need to love one another. We need to support one another. Are you an opposition political party? You should know that God crowns the king. Help the one in power, so that when he's gone, you will take over. God is going to help you. I want to tell you one thing before I go. Humbleness, loving, caring is the beginning of rule. When you rule with humbleness, when you rule without violence, prioritizing others because you are there on top, God is going to see your rule to enduring forever. You want to be called a good leader, be humble. You want to be called a good leader, lead by example. Youths across Africa, I advise you in this video that you should always speak for development. If someone wants to use you as a perpetrator of violence, may you ring your bell, so that as stakeholders, the community, we should know that you want to be used for a piece of bread. That money too, kwacha you're given, you are not going to sustain yourself with it. So what do? You speak out. Let them give you development, not empowering you to do violence. No. Refuse, because we condemn violence. As we are going to our poll in 2021, we want to see all political leaders engaged to condemn violence. We don't care whether you've got too much money. What we want is peace. We are sick and tired of listening to people fighting, killing each other. For what? What do you gain after all? You've remained with the blood, the stained hands, stained by your brother's blood. Foreigners, we request you, when you come to our country. Recently, there's been a video circulating where an Indian man, locks up the citizens inside where they are working from. for hours and hours. Why? Because as citizens, we cannot speak out. The law is not protecting us. We need protection from the law. You who are making the law, see to it that the law is protecting your citizen. Businesses that Zambians can do, foreigners are doing it. Why? Are we incapable to do it? Because we lack empowerment. We need to be empowered in these businesses so that we do them ourselves. One man said, where there's poverty, there's no decision. We will do anything. We will stoop so low to do anything because we are poor people. Now we condemn whatever is going on. Let's focus for development. Let's speak out only for development. Let's fight for development, not fighting our own brothers. If Zambia was like South Africa, I can see a bit of unity in South Africa. We've got leaders like Malema who will speak out, outspoken for development, outspoken to protect his own nation. Do you know why whites have brought borders? So that we don't unite. If there was no borders, Africa would have been a united continent. Now the problem is there are barriers which are borders. Why are you putting borders? Malema has been speaking about borders. Why are you putting borders? Dismantle all borders. Leaders of Africa, I'm talking to you. Wherever you are, can you see to it that borders are removed so that Africa may be united? One day they come back and take over Africa again. Scramble for Africa, we know it is gone. But what I know, it is not gone because primitive accumulation, it is still there. Zambians, Africans are employed and are given a piece of bread for making a lot of money. Go to these multi-billion companies, you find that the workers are given little than they are making for the company. Minister of Labor in Africa, where are you? Speak out. A person is brutalized at work. They come to report to your office. It takes time for you to help them. Why? That is your duty. Speak for the Zambians. We don't care whether this investor goes. Empower us to be investors in our own country. We are local investors. We can invest. If there's something, if there's a job you can create, is self-employment. When we are self-employed, this nonsense of getting a piece of bread for working hard day and night should end. They work 6 to 6, more especially Zambians. Thank you, Zambians, you are so hardworking, but you are working for nothing. You work 6 to 6 and get a piece of bread. I'm sorry for you. You are entrepreneurs. May you start your own business than doing this nonsense. Presidents, may you help us. We elected you to help us. Kindly help us, because this nonsense is going on and on and on and on, and Zambia is becoming the poorest country. Now, we are going to remain a developing country if we don't empower our own people. I don't talk too much. I always say I don't talk too much, but I get upset when I see my fellow Zambians suffering. Violence, I condemn it. Primitive accumulation, I don't want it. So stay blessed.